what's up you guys, welcome back to my another video. Now today it is time for the top 10 albums of the year 2020 edition. Now I have already done the 25 top songs of the year. Now it's time for the albums, and yeah, let's just get straight into it without further explanation because there's no need. At number 10 we got Miley Cyrus with Plastic Hearts. I have included a Miley Cyrus song on my top 25 songs as well, which already you might think is a little weird as a hip-hop orientated channel. To have an album from her as my top 10 as well, it really shows how great this album is, and it is great. The new style that Miley has been going for quite a while now, probably sometime around 2017 is when she really started adopting that more pop, more 80s pop type feel, you know, mixed with country, all that just kind of genre bending type of stuff. And every time she drops a song in the style of Malibu, I just love it, you know. I just love her voice. She's got a super strong voice. She's obviously talented. No matter how annoying she was as a celebrity, her voice was always great. And there are some amazing songs on here. Hate Me, Plastic Hearts, the self-titled, which I included on the top 25 obviously. Midnight Sky is great. Golden G-String, Plastic Hearts as well. It's just great, man. It's really strong album and it's super consistent throughout. Every song on here is great. And yeah, I feel like she really outshined a lot of pop artists this year, including Ariana's album, which I was really hoping to enjoy this year, which I didn't as much as I thought I would. Next up, we got number 9, Unlocked, Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats. Now, I love Denzel Curry so much, and I love Kenny Beats as well, so that combination just can't go wrong with it. A lot of inspiration came from MF Doom. That is very clear to see in terms of the beats and the whole kind of aesthetic of the album. And then Denzel just kind of put his own spin on it with the aggressive flows. Delivery is always on point with Denzel. Some of my favorites, obviously Diet, a great track. It's got such an interesting beat. The structure of it is super interesting. Take It Back, so incredible as well. Those are great tracks. And again, in terms of the consistency, you know, just like the Miley album is just a great track after great track. And the album itself isn't too long either. I think it's about 10 tracks, I feel. And yeah, it's straight to the point and it just fucking kills it. So yeah, it's brutal, man. It's great. Number 8, Savage Mode 2. I don't know why 21 Savage ended up on here, because he doesn't strike me as a rapper that I would really enjoy it that much, as much as I did. I did like his album from 2018. And yeah, I loved a large percentage of the songs on that album, but there was still a huge portion of the project that was just a straight on miss for me. And here 21 just saved that, man. There's no misses. There's practically no misses on there. If there is, maybe there's 1 or 2, and if there is a weaker track, it's still a great track because of how high the level is for the entire project itself. Some of my favorite songs on here would be Many Men, Brand New Draco, and Glock on My Lap. The Metro Boomin production is crazy. That duo just can't be stopped. So yeah, number 7 we got King's Disease by Nas. I can't believe I am listening to Nas in 2020, you know. This is a crazy year for music, honestly, because he's been killing it, because he hasn't really killed it in such a long time. I mean, I can't remember the last time he dropped a full length project. Obviously he dropped Nasir, which was 2 years ago, but that was only 7 tracks, and that was more of a gimmick, I feel like, more than a full-blown album by him. You know, it wasn't too successful either. It wasn't really critically acclaimed, even though I did like it. But here he's obviously nominated for a Grammy. He's got an actual hit with Spicy, and yeah, I'm just happy for him. Hit Boy is killing it with the beats similar to Metro Boomin, and yeah, it's just a fantastic album. It's got great beats. Nas's biggest problem throughout the years was his beat selection, and that problem has just been solved with Hit Boy. And then obviously in terms of the flows, the lyrics, the energy, that has always been there, you know. So now we got best of both worlds with Nas. Some of my favorite tracks on here are Spicy, like I've mentioned before. Great features from A$AP Ferg and Fivio Foreign, even though I don't really enjoy his music overall, and All Bad as well. Next up on here we got Eternal Take with the deluxe version. I don't think this album would make into the top 10 if it wasn't for the deluxe, and you will see why in a short second. But I don't know, man, before this year I really did not feel Uzi's music. Same with Carti, to be honest, but especially with Uzi, I just did not see it. I don't know why people enjoyed it so much, you know. But with this album, I really, mate, honestly, the wait, it was fucking justified, okay? It was actually a great album. And I remember when it came out, you know, it was just a fucking track after track, so consistent, you know. It definitely grew on me. And the fact that I pretty much already enjoyed it from the beginning just shows how great the album is to me now, because if it grew on me from there, then now I feel like this is one of the best trap albums I've ever heard, you know. In terms of the production, it was super sweet and just animated. And then obviously Uzi with the great energy on a lot of these tracks. He's got nice variety with a lot of singing, which is done very well, and a lot of straight up bars, which I do also appreciate. You know, you got such bangers as No Auto with Dirk, absolutely smashing his verse. You've got some hits with Venetia, Baby Pluto, a lot of singing songs like P2, obviously, Come This Way. Celebration Station isn't necessarily a singing song, but it's one of my favorites nevertheless. Yes Sirski, which is on my top 25, and it's packed with just everything you would need for any kind of mood. So for that reason, I am gonna stick this to number 6. Now, number 5, we've got After Hours, okay? Now, I listened to this project a few weeks ago. I waited a good fucking year to listen to this because I just did not really see a point in listening to The Weeknd. I feel like it's just another singer, you know. A lot of people around me loved him, and I just thought, nah, it's not gonna be for me. I didn't even give him a chance. I then checked out Blinding Lights, okay? There was no way I couldn't have checked it out because it was fucking everywhere, okay? That was sometime last year. And I actually loved it, okay? I actually did enjoy it so much, and I couldn't stop listening to it despite it being completely overplayed. And despite that, I still didn't check out any other songs on the project, even Heartless, which was another single coming up with Blinding Lights, okay? So that's how much I was against The Weeknd, that even though he made a great song that I did enjoy, I still didn't bother checking out more of his stuff. But a few weeks ago, I just thought, you know what, I have nothing to lose. It's fucking lockdown, and I can't be asked to just listen to the same thing over and over, man. I just thought I'd check it out. I played it, and fuck me, every song on there was an absolute banger. It really made me question. I said this on the top 25, but it really made me question some of my picks on the top 25 songs of the year, because you have songs like Yes Sirski above In Your Eyes, okay? How does that even happen, okay? I do still kind of agree with that placement, but when you compare those songs next to each other, the talent is just through the roof on the Weeknd song compared to the Uzi song. And I love both of these songs. That's not to roast Yes Sirski, because it's one of my favorite songs for a reason, you know, you can't take that away from it. But I'm just thinking, how am I comparing these two songs? You know, the amount of talent that it takes to make a song like In Your Eyes, or pretty much any other song on the After Hours album, is so ridiculous. I'm just baffled as to how this isn't like the best fucking album of all time, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so fucking great. It's full of amazing hooks, it's full of amazing production, you know. Some of my favorite tracks: Save Your Tears, Blinding Lights, obviously, In Your Eyes, Hardest to Love. There's so many, and it's just such a great, I mean, Save Your Tears is one of my favorite songs in a fucking while, in years, okay? I feel like some of Kendrick Lamar's biggest hits for me compete with this, you know. This is the type of level we talking. But yeah, next we got number 4, Alfredo. Great lyricism, amazing charisma from the writer and the rapper, obviously Freddie Gibbs, and the lyricism and everything rap wise is just fucking the highest of levels, okay? Some of my favorite songs on there will be Something to Rap About, Baby Shit, Frank Lucas. The beats are, as always, amazing. Something to Rap About, one of my favorite rap songs of the year. Tyler absolutely killed his verse. The beat is super chill, and then with that contrast of that deep and just grimy voice from Freddie, it's just great, man. And the charisma, the fucking personality from Freddie is just fucking blasting through these songs, you know. You can just clearly see it. But now when it comes to the top 3, okay, now this is the real deal. Number 3, Man on the Moon 3 by Kid Cudi, okay? I do realize that when I first listened to this album, I wasn't a great fan of especially the first half, okay? I was kind of shitting on it, but it grew on me a lot, man. I've got to say, it grew on me a lot, especially some of these songs that I originally hated, you know. She Knows This is one of my favorite tracks now, actually, which is crazy to think, because if you watch my first reaction of that project, I actually kind of hated it, and I'm pretty sure I actually picked it as one of my top 2 worst songs on there, which just supports the fact how much of a grower this album is, you know. Obviously the tracks like The Void, Dive, Mr. Solo Dolo, those were my top 3 tracks, and I would pretty much agree with that still. But now Dive, by far my favorite song on the project. It's amazing, it's so creative, it's so different to what Cudi's been doing. it's just so grand, you know. It's similar to The Void in terms of that aspect. Now for number 2, we've got Burden of Proof by Benny the Butcher. Okay, now Benny the Butcher, one of my favorite MCs out right now, including Freddie Gibbs, same as Conway the Machine, that whole Griselda squad. I only dove in that kind of space recently, in the last 2 months or so on my own. Those albums that those 3 came out with, West Side Gun as well, all of those could have been on the top 10, but I had to pick one of them, and I feel like Burden of Proof is the best one. It's the most listenable to me. I feel like Conway the Machine is amazing, but he's more of an MF Doom type in terms of that it's more of an acquired taste, you know. It's a lot more grimy, and it's not catchy at all, you know. It's just bars. It's just bars, you know, bars and bars with amazing production. But I just feel like it's something I would have to listen to with my headphones on a certain day with a certain mood, whereas Burden of Proof is a bit more accessible. You know, songs like One Way Flight, Trade It All, I feel like they have amazing production. Again, I'm not sure who produced that one. Alchemist, I believe, again, which just shows how Alchemist is fucking killing it this year. Him and Hit Boy have had amazing years. But yeah, it's just more accessible with the hooks from Freddie Gibbs on One Way Flight. Probably one of my favorite rap songs of the year. But yeah, now it's time for the number 1 spot on the 2020 top 10 list for the best album of the year. I'm gonna have to give it to Circles by Mac Miller. The fact that he died 2 years ago, yeah, 2018, pretty much just after releasing Swimming, which I have fucking loved, by the way. Okay, I know that at the time it wasn't reaching any sort of success critically, especially on Twitter, and I know that doesn't really mean anything, but you could just feel that no one really enjoyed it too much, but I did for some reason, and I just love Mac Miller's music, you know, and it just made me feel bad because I feel like that's one of the things that it just didn't help. It's one of those things. And then only after he died, he received the recognition for it with the Grammys, for him not to even win still. And yeah, I just feel like Circles is just a step up from Swimming, you know. It's not a comparable album in a sense that Swimming is more jazzy, it's more bright, it's more just catchy, it's happier, it's a happier album. But Circles is just, at times it just sounds like a cry for help. Sometimes it just sounds like Mac Miller accepted his fate. But yeah, but the fact that this project came out 2 years after his death and it was such high quality, it's super surprising compared to people like X, whose projects after his death have been very disappointing and lacking and just pretty much empty. I feel like there's nothing that Mac Miller would have changed on this if he was still here. One of my favorite songs on here, That's On Me. It's super accessible despite most of the album not being like that. I feel like I could really just listen to it at any time in my life. Woods as well, I Can See, is a great track. Good News, Circles, the title track, even though it's super stripped back, that's the kind of song that I'm talking about in terms of it being more of an experience. I will never listen to Circles on its own, but within the context of the album, I feel like I wouldn't ever go to the second track without hearing Circles first, you know what I mean? So overall, for me, all of these are 10s in their own way. They are just based on my enjoyment and not necessarily skill. You've got people like Benny the Butcher being above the likes of After Hours. Obviously Benny would never be able to sing as well as The Weeknd. At the same time, The Weeknd would never be able to spit a verse about the struggles of his life just like Benny was able to do. So yeah, it's just all about enjoyment, you know, it's all subjective. Hope you enjoyed this video. This will be it for now. Check out all the links in the description: Twitter, Instagram, my Spotify, and yeah, I drop music every single Friday. I'm gonna take a little break again this month with the music, with the month of January, and then I'm going back strong with a new single coming out end of January. So I hope you check that out. It's gonna be a whole month of promotion, so it's gonna be a big song for me. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed again. Peace.